What's up, guys? This is Kyle with TCGU here, bringing you another deck profile. I know it's been a while. Sorry, the channel's been going through a transitional period, with Tam going off to do his own thing. Good luck to him with that. I've been enjoying a lot of his content, and go check him out, at Tamron Cardwell. But anyway, we're back. Here is our first deck profile. We'll be getting the rest of it up here pretty soon, so be looking forward to more Weiss videos in the incoming future. But I decided to start off with just a nice meta profile. So here is my Fate Heavensfield deck. Uh, so first up, we have 3 copies of this Brainstorm. What can I say? This Brainstorm is amazing. Every deck for 8-bar Fate runs 3 to 4 copies of it, and it's for a reason. It's a salvage Brainstormer, tap self, which is always strong. But when you check a gold bar, it gives you the ability to then pitch a card, add a card from clock to hand, and then clock the top card of your deck. That ability allows you to set up states where you just basically you almost can't have climaxes in your stock, and it's so easy to filter the gold bars out of your hand that they're not a detriment. So you just gain 100% net positive plussing selective triggers, which is just broken. So 3 copies of this because it makes the deck run. And next up, we're gonna go into our gold bar combos. We have 4 copies of. Oh, there it is. Whoops. So we have 4 copies of the climax, and then 3 copies of the combo that goes with it. This rider for many sets can just be backbreaking. It can be extremely oppressive. But then there are a lot of sets, specifically a lot of newer ones, that have counters to it. Whether they're running those counters is a whole nother thing, but they do have access to those counters, so keep that in mind. But this rider, it's arguably a better Neg Soul Wall than Priestess, uh, and it doesn't allow the opponent to play shitters. But at the worst, it's a healer. And in a deck that's really just trying to play that long game, trying to play that I'm not gonna lose game, as opposed to I'm gonna murder you game, like every other deck in the format, um, just being a healer is enough. And the fact that it combos with the gold bar, I wouldn't run the deck without it. Just a great card. So there's that. Next up, of course, 4 copies of the other gold bar and 4 copies of the combo that goes with it. This combo is not the best. It's just a non-reverse searcher. That's 5,500 cross turn. These profiles are in almost every set at this point. And they're never that great. It's good in this deck because you don't really need to get the combo off itself. It's a 1-0 master, so you can clock encore it. If you get off the combo, that's great, but if you don't get off the combo, you're totally fine because you're sitting on that gold bar plussing trigger that's just going to allow you to never check bad, and you can just not die. Yeah, 4 and 4. You basically have to run the deck with this. So there's the engine. And next up, we have one of the most oppressive card combinations ever printed, in my opinion. These 2 cards printed together were a mistake. Uh, so uh, we have 4 copies of this 2-1 and 4 copies of this 0-0. So the 2-1 is a 5 or less cards in deck you free fresh, and then you get to draw a card. And then the 0-0 is an Akatsuki, so pitch a card and then check top 4 for a master in this case. Add it to your hand. This allows you to set up a situation where you're checking top four, adding this to your hand with that check top four or with the brainstorm, and you're milling out your deck to less than 5 cards, refreshing, and then more than likely healing as well. And you can do all of this at level 2 every single turn if you've played your game correctly, which is really easy to do in Fate. So it allows you to set up these situations where Fate is never in a situation where it doesn't have 7 or 8 cards in its or 7 or 8 climaxes in its deck, which is just absolutely disgusting. So yeah, 4 and 4. This card, you can either, if you're getting boxes or a play set, it gets reprinted in the next set, so wait for that. Unless you really want to play the deck right now. But even then, it's only $10, so it's not bad. This card, pick it up now. It only gets more expensive, so just pick it up now. And then next up, 3 copies of this healer, and then 3 copies of the card that is its early play condition. So the early play condition for this healer is you have to have this card in clock, and then it's a stock healer that gets big. Stock healers are always good, and this is the best healer in the set currently. And then this early play condition, this isn't that great, but it gets there. It's a 4K beater, which those are always fine. But when it dies, it goes to bottom of deck. And you have to have an Ilya on the board. If you do not, it does not untap during the untap step. That kind of sucks, but your Akatsuki is an Ilya, and you can easily keep it on the board as you're about to see. So, 3 of that. If you want to save money, you can pick up the cards right now just to play the deck, but if you want to save money and are fine with waiting to play the deck, just wait. There's a better healer, the red healer, in the new set. At least in my opinion, it's better. Based on my initial testing, that card plays more easily into the strategy and frees up slots in your deck so that you can put things that the deck is missing into the deck. So just all around, this is a great card, but I just think the Heaven's Feel 2 healer is going to be a little better. So 3 and 3. And last but not least, within our core, 2 copies of this Global Clock Encore. This Global Clock Encore, what can I say? It's busted. And I know Fate players, it's blasphemy. I'm only running 2. Most decks run 3 to 4. But hear me out. You have so many cards that can just grab it in this deck from anywhere that it's at that you just don't need 4. Because once you have 1 on the board, the other 3 just become dead 500 power level zeros that do nothing. So why would you spend the extra slots when you can just run 2 in case one of them gets into your stock? You can just run 2, use your other cards to grab them, and then have other cards that are going to provide better utility for the deck. There are a couple different cards later on that you're about to see that you can cut if you want to run 3 or 4 of this. But all around, I just think 2 works. I see it every single game, no problems. So, 2 copies of this. Next up, 4 copies of this bomb. This bomb had to have been a mistake. There's no way. It's a master, so you can clock encore it with that Shiro. And it's a clock bomb for cost 0 or lowers, which those are always good. And it's a pitch a climax salvage. Since you're running gold bars, you're pretty much always going to have climaxes in your hands to pitch. These 2 profiles together, just in tandem with the clock bomb, just allow you to set up these board states that are absolutely disgusting for certain decks. And it can be extremely oppressive. And at the worst, it's a filter. It's just so good. So, 4 copies of that. 2 copies of this 3-2. This 3-2 is really good. It's a level assist. It's a on-play salvage, so it can help set up whatever you're going for. But also, you can tap itself to throw a master or servant from your discard to your stock, thus allowing you to compress or build that extra stock you need to pull off your combo. It's just a great card, so 2 copies of this. This is one of the cards that I would say you can probably cut for more copies of that Shiro if you want to run more. 2 copies of this Drop Searcher. It's a Drop Searcher, and with 2 or less stock, it's a 35 beater. I think these profiles are insane. This profile means that you have search access in your deck so that you can easily search out the Shiro as well as salvage the Shiro with your other options. So you can pretty much grab the Shiro from anywhere, which is why I just run this profile instead, because I think it provides more options than those other 2 Shiros do for the deck. But if you don't like it, run 2 more Shiros. It's whatever. But 2 copies of this card. Phenomenal. Next up, just an extra utility card. 3 copies of this bomb. It's a level 0 stock bomb. Those are always solid. And then when it dies, it sends itself to memory. You only run 3 of it because you can only have a maximum of 3 of them in your memory. But it allows you, while Fate does generate a lot of stock, it does not generate enough stock to the point where it is super oppressive. This allows you to get that little bit of extra compression and get Fate to that point where it does start becoming super oppressive when it comes to its compression. So, 3 copies of this bomb. Now some utility cards, 2 copies of this stock swap. Once again, this card was a mistake. I don't know why they printed this. If you're playing green, which in 8-bar Fate you're playing green, you have green on your board. 90% of the deck green. But if you're playing green, you can play it, and then it's a stock swap at level 1. It's a 1/1 stock swap event. Easily grabbable with your Brainstormer existing. So, just phenomenal card all around. 2 copies of this caster. This caster is great. I see a lot of decks not playing it and opting to run the bouncer instead. I understand that your opponent loses stock when you play the bouncer, but you pay stock when you play the bouncer. Which I think hurts more than your opponent having something bounced. You know, you are giving up slots in your deck for a 3/2 that honestly just doesn't do that much. You have to pay stock to do it, and all it is a matchup card that bounces something, right? This, while it doesn't bounce, it snaps. So on play, you just get rid of your opponent's ability, which is great against things like Priestess, things that gain markers, anything like that. And it's active straight from level 0. And it's free. That's the other thing. So really, all you're giving up for this card is 2 deck slots. You can run 1. I like 2. It allows me to see it enough that I can... it just allows me to see it enough. So, 2 copies of this caster. I think it's a great anti-meta pick. If you don't like it, run something else. But I think this card's great. Last but not least, 1 copy of this anti-change counter. It's one of the best anti-change counters that's ever been printed. It's a level 1 pitch 2 sack the character off board. Just all around a phenomenal card. It's the English meta. You should probably be running an anti-change counter. And that is all, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Links to all our social medias and our Patreon and Discord will all be below. Stay alert, guys. See ya.